Few years ago, a doctor told me that I have a fatty liver and high cholesterol. I was in my mid-20s, I just got married and I had kid, and I was maybe near 10 years when I had my last workout or exercise or play basketball. But that was the moment when I just couldn't stand out and I knew that I need to do something different. I was about 85 kilograms, I ate whatever I wanted, and I didn't know anything about healthy foods back then. Nothing in terms of some healthy habits or anything. Eating sweets, I still crave it for it, to be honest. And now I had a family, and having a doctor telling me that my liver was paying all the bills. I didn't know where to start, but I knew that when I put my mind to it, and I'm delivering it. So yeah, 10 years ago I had a full sleeve tattoo when everyone in my family saying that I was crazy, but that was always my desire to do it, and I did it. So I said, why not putting all that effort and focus to be better, be healthy for my family. When I was seeing my belly fat, and I was always saying I need to cut this. So I started from somewhere, I started small. I cut some junk food that I ate back then while on pause breaks in my company. So I started small, not cutting bad food. I mean, I cut the junk food, but I didn't cut everything and went to a strict diet. I left the sweets there because I couldn't live without them, and started riding my bike. I bought a bike, I sold my motorcycle, and I started with 10 kilometers through the city, then 15, then 20 kilometers. And I spent that summer of 2017 riding my bike and seeing that the weight started to drop by itself. Only by doing that. It didn't drop that much, maybe 5 kilos that summer, but that was a starting point, and still I didn't know what I'm doing, actually, to be honest. But the winter came and the bike was put inside, and I didn't know what to do that winter. So I had my buddy that invited me to try CrossFit. So I spent 4 months on CrossFit, but I hated that. Going from casually riding my bike to a CrossFit training, it was a huge step for me back then, and I couldn't hold a training. I remember that first training I ended up almost throwing out, but I stopped the CrossFit and I bought an indoor bike and continued my biking through the winter. But the bike didn't help that much, so I needed to do something different, something that will keep me my desire to work out, to move on. And since I'm a material guy, I bought a Garmin watch back then. I remember that this will be my motivation to continue working out any kind of workouts back then. So the Garmin watch led to some conversation with a colleague of mine that ran trail runs with 50 plus kilometers, and that gave me motivation to start running that summer. That was the summer of 2018. So the Garmin has these options to try a plan where you can sign up for example, to run a half marathon and to guide you through that plan. So I signed up for a marathon that year of 2018 in October, and this was March the same year, and I ran around 600 kilometers that summer, which gave me strength. I finished that half marathon in 2 hours and 2 minutes. I was happy because the initial plan was to finish it with no time included, no time in my mind. So that was a quite achievement for me back then. And the next year I signed up again for a half marathon, because that was kind of into me, and I started buying running gear. I spent maybe 500 euros on running gear, and the second half marathon on the same event, but the next year, was 1 hour and 49 minutes. I did the same thing with that. I had my Garmin as a coach, and I was actually targeting 1 hour and 50 minutes, and I finished 1 minute earlier. Luckily for me that that year the weather was perfect for running, for a race. It was cloudy, it was 9 degrees Celsius, no wind, and yeah, I hit my PR back then. So just like that, I went from fatty liver to 2 half marathons. Pretty impressive for me back then. I mean, it still is, although my fitness level is not on the same level right now because I'm focusing on something else. I always had a thing for having a six-pack, but running didn't help me in that. Actually make the situation worse in terms of having muscle and having six-pack. The running spends a lot of muscle, but I didn't know that back then. So yeah, I was fit, but I was still skinny, and I had still my belly, fatty belly, and actually that was a kind of a bad thing, because even though I was fitness fit, I didn't have the strength, and I was eating still everything, but since I ran a lot in that moment, I dropped to 66 kilos. So I wanted to change something in that. So when the second marathon finished, I started some exercises at home. I bought 2 dumbbells and started without a plan, started to see what I can do regarding that. And the first thing came to my mind in terms of to build my motivation was to cut down on the food, and at the end to see the six-pack. And I did that. I did some cutting, and I went from 66 kilos to 62. And yeah, I saw some, not six-pack, but 4-pack. And I saw the photos of me to my colleague who exercises more than me, and he told me, buddy, you have to gain weight, not lose weight. And that was a kind of a crucial moment for me to realize that, yeah, I need to eat more clean food, to exercise more, until failure. That I didn't know what was that back then, but in parallel I was trying to learn a lot about weightlifting and fitness, and eating healthy, eating proteins a lot. So I learned a lot from YouTube, from reading, from some courses that I took back then. But I still didn't have a actual plan. I was just eating and exercising without any particular order of the exercises. And then an idea comes in, since I'm a software engineer, to build a fitness application and to track my workouts. Not even that there aren't fitness trackers out there on App Store, on Google Play. There are plenty, but they are all limited in terms of you have the data there, but only the developer who develops them is deciding what you can see. But since I'm a programmer, I wanted to do some application for myself, just to continue the motivation of lifting or doing any sort of exercises, and meanwhile to gather statistics about my journey, and to try to extract as much as data as possible, statistics and insights for my progress. And I know that having an application, successful application, is a long shot. I'm already investing some money on it, but the biggest investment is actually having me motivated, having me better than each day. Also motivating my kid and my wife to work out, because now they are realizing that this is highly important in life. And I will do everything to see them healthy and alive. And if this is some investment for that, I don't care. I will do it anyway. So I will post regularly on Instagram and YouTube about my fitness journey and the developing of the application. So if you want to know more about it, be part of it. And also you can join me in terms of throwing ideas and some data that you wanted but you didn't still found on any other applications. Yeah, drop me a follow, we can discuss. I can probably help you extracting some of the data that you need, also for you to be more active and progress. So I launched the application last month. I spent almost 5 months building it. It's called Strenova. It's available on App Store and Google Play. You can check it out. And so far I didn't get a lot of users, so I didn't even expect that much, but I also didn't expect that I will only have 4 users right now, and that is kind of not disappointing, but I kind of knew that without any marketing I would be stuck. So what follows is to do some marketing about it, to do some ads and see where it will go. So this is the account is all about, the lifting, because I want to gain strength, to build muscle, but not also that. Also to seeing my wife exercising with me, seeing my kid watching, building healthy habits. Since the dumbbells, I already got a pull-up rack, dips bar, and some plates, a bench, and I'm planning to try to use that and to be better me. But alongside with that, I will sharing stories about what features the application will have. So we're gonna build together it with you, hopefully, if you join, of course. So if you are kind of person that likes stories, you can join and you can have a ride together. And I don't care about the numbers of the application. I mean, as I said, I'm building this for myself and for my family. And I started this because I didn't want to be the debt that I couldn't keep up with. So that's still the behind reason. And if everything of this is interesting to you, follow along. Again, the app is called Strenova. It's free for downloads. The link will be included in the bio. Remember, for users, DMs are open. I read everything.